Hey everybody, this is JT Dubs,
And I'm Ivan Lichtenstein.
and you're watching the Film Pod.
Ba-ba-ba.
So today we will be talking about all 5 of the Spider-Man movies that have come out in the last, 15 years.
All the way from Raimi to Webb.
Yep, and we're going to talk about it, in honor of the new Spider-Man played by Tom Holland, who's going to be in Captain America Civil War. And so we're just going to go ahead and review all 5 of them. And we're going to start off with Spider-Man in 2002, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Tobey Maguire. So, Ivan, what are your first thoughts on the first Spider-Man?
This is actually one of my favorite superhero movies. I remember when I was a kid and I first saw it, and I remember buying the DVD and watching it over and over again as a kid and just loving every single minute of it. And just to prepare myself for this podcast, I rewatched it just to see if it still holds up, and it still does hold up.
Oh yeah, it's a really good movie.
I mean, there's still a couple of flaws in it that I do notice, but every single achievement outweighs those flaws. Honestly, where it comes from, the casting, I honestly think this is not only some of the best casting in a superhero movie, but some of the best casting in a movie. Period.
Yeah, it's
Tobey
cast
Maguire
well.
totally fits the part of Spider-Man. And you get that from the very first scene. You see him running after the bus, and you see all the different types of people inside the bus. You have the jocks, you have the popular kids, you have some of the less popular kids that still make fun of him. So you totally see how he's socially ranked on that scale within the movie.
Yeah, he's at the
as it
very
starts.
bottom.
And you totally feel for this character too. He's not creepy at all. He's just a normal kid who's struggling with everyday life.
Yeah, he's just awkward. He's a teenager. You identify with him pretty well. My big thing about Tobey Maguire is he really nails the whole Peter Parker character. We'll see later on other actors will kind of.
Tobey Maguire is Peter Parker.
Yeah, he really is. He really is Peter Parker, and he really nails the nerdy Peter Parker that he's supposed to be before he becomes Spider-Man. And really, all the casting is really good. The only thing I would really say is kind of dated about the movie, as it's 14 years old now, is that some of the CGI is definitely pretty dated. It looks kind of video
but
game-esque.
it doesn't fully take me out of the movie though.
Oh, no,
I'll watch it
no.
and I'll be like, oh yeah, the CGI is dated. The scene.
But it makes sense.
Like
that
the
it's
scene
dated.
where Uncle Ben dies and you see Peter Parker running and forming into Spider-Man, and then you see him jump onto the building.
Yeah, some
that
of his
was
jumps
CGI.
are a little rubbery.
Yeah, but that doesn't take me out of the movie, and that is actually one of the most intense movie moments in a superhero movie that I've ever seen, if not the most.
Yeah, you really connect to Peter Parker in this movie, and you connect to his struggles and Uncle Ben dying, and it's just really good at making you care about the character. First of all, establishing who he is, what he believes in, and essentially it goes on to show who he is, what he wants to accomplish, and the very end. When it's not really spoilers at this point, but at the very end when he chooses to be Spider-Man over being with Mary Jane, you feel that he's choosing this responsibility over just being with the person he loves. So it really does a good job of showing what Spider-Man's character is all about.
Yeah, and I also thought you can't I thought the pacing of the movie was great.
Yeah,
there's
really
no
good.
scene in this film that I would take out, or there's no scene in this film that feels less important than any other scene in the film. So when you look at the Peter's best friend Harry and then his dad, Dr. Osborn, you totally feel that connection because Harry is Peter's best friend. His best friend's dad is Dr. Osborn, and Dr. Osborn is essentially the main villain of this movie, who is the Green Goblin.
Yep.
So you kind of feel like Peter shouldn't kill this guy, and he's not gonna kill anyone, obviously.
Yeah.
But you feel like he shouldn't hurt him seriously in any way because he's the dad of his best friend, and Peter actually knows this guy personally. So it's all about. So like you said before about the choices that Peter makes within the movie are very serious, and they lead to other events in the movie, and they have a driven purpose within the film.
Well, yeah, all the motivations make sense. He doesn't really find out that it's Dr. Osborn until really the very end.
Yeah.
But Dr. Osborn finds out that Spider-Man is Peter Parker part of the way through. So you get to see sort of how he's going to make that work to his advantage. And the way that he finds out through Harry. And it's it's kind of set up to where Harry kind of has this romance with Mary Jane, but Mary Jane also has kind of a romance with Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So all the characters and all the stories kind of connect really well. to really make the movie's pace really good. And like you said, every scene works towards the ending. Like it doesn't. There's nothing in there that like you should just take out. So overall, really solid movie. It's a little corny at times.
Yeah, it's also a very colorful movie too. I don't think people really pick up on that a lot.
Oh yeah, the colors.
But the
are
use
amazing.
of the usage of color was great. I thought the spider suit was great, and how it contrasts with the other mise en scene in the background of the film.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that's lost within the later movies, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said though, there are some like sort of cheesy
Yeah.
moments in it.
And Danny Elfman's score. Before you get into the cheesy moments, I do have to say Danny Elfman's score is fantastic for this film.
Oh yeah,
And, like
yeah.
it does not,
Everything
it
he
doesn't really
does.
get talked about a lot, which is kind of surprising for me because when you think about film
The
scores, you think
opening
of
sequence-
Hans Zimmer,
yeah.
you think of Hans Zimmer for Interstellar, you think of Hans Zimmer for The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
You think of John Williams?
I think of Danny Elfman too. I'd consider him in the top 3, honestly.
Yeah,
You know,
but I'm just
John-
saying like
John
his score
Williams,
doesn't
Hans
get
Zimmer,
talked about
and-
enough
And
in
Danny
this
Elfman.
film.
Yeah.
But you're gonna go to the cheesy moments.
Oh yeah, there's just some cheesy moments.
Oh yeah, like
Sam Raimi as a director, he definitely doesn't try to go for a like super realistic
Yeah,
kind of
and if
tone,
you
and that's
see-
fine.
yeah, like it works for him. If you've seen any of the
Yeah.
Evil Dead movies, you can totally tell that he's not trying to be. He's not making a harrowing horror film. He's just making a fun
Yeah,
horror film
it's
for a
not
lot of
gr-
people to enjoy.
Yeah,
And
Spider-Man
he definitely
is
takes those
not
stylistic
gritty.
and visual and aesthetic elements and implements them into the Spider-Man movies that
Yeah.
he's made.
And they're not gritty. They're not, super realistic. And you know what? That they came out during a time when it was like totally cool to do movies like that. I wish honestly now more superhero movies wouldn't try to go for the super gritty element.
I kind of disagree with that because it can work in some cases.
No, it does work in some cases,
Yeah,
but
like-
every movie tries to do that now.
Yeah.
We don't need every superhero movie to be gritty.
I don't think every single superhero movie does that nowadays.
Well, Deadpool didn't actually.
Yeah,
but,
that was. I mean, yeah.
But I think they're sort of now starting to realize that they don't have to do that. But for a while, it was like,
Really?
Man of Steel.
I thought
and all those-
I thought the Avengers movies didn't really do that.
Yeah, I guess I'm not talking like just like Marvel Cinematic Universe has actually been pretty good about not doing that. But a lot of movies that aren't part of MCU have been doing that. Like the new Fantastic Four tried to be super gritty and it sucked.
Right.
Man of Steel was gritty. Batman v Superman was gritty. They try to do it a lot and like totally fine to do it for some cases, but not every single time.
Right.
And I'm glad that Sam Raimi didn't do that with the first Spider-Man. So
But we'll see what he does with Spider-Man 2 as we talk about that now.
yeah. Oh, were we gonna rate each one?
Oh yeah, we forgot that. I'm giving Spider-Man 1 2002 a 9 out of 10.
And I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
All right, now on to Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2 is my favorite Spider-Man movie of all time. And
It's
honestly, I'm just gonna say this: we haven't had a good Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2,
that's
and
fair.
that was
That's
12
fair.
years ago. 12 years ago.
I mean, it's
makes me
it's
so
not
mad.
my favorite one, but that doesn't mean it's
Do you
not.
like the first one more than this one?
Yeah, but
Okay.
only by like a millimeter.
That's fair. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think they're both really good. I only like this one a little bit more than the first one, anyway.
I just thought the development of the characters was better in the first one than in the second one.
Yeah, I mean,
Not that they're not developed in the second one. I just think it's better than the first. That's my opinion.
yeah, I think the first one is very simple and keeps everything very focused on the main drive, and I think
That's what I liked. That's what I
yeah.
loved about it.
the second one it goes for a little bit more kind of like different elements are happening at once.
And it worked.
Yeah, it works really well because you get to see Peter Parker struggling even more. You don't have to worry about the origin. Here you just get straight into the action. He's trying to work as a pizza delivery guy and he's failing. He's trying to be Spider-Man and it's not always working out. He's he's still kind of trying with Mary Jane, but that's not working out because he's too busy being Spider-Man. He doesn't have time to go see her play.
And one thing I liked about, speaking of origin, I like how they put the origin in the intro credits, so they don't have to explain
Yes,
anything.
Yes, I love that.
Like that makes, and they made it artistic and visual, and they made it really appealing to the eye.
I love
and
that they do
makes
that,
more
yeah.
sense than actually having a narration or a whole scene or an entendre of scenes play
Yeah.
out to introduce the origin.
I love that they do that in Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3. That was really good artistic choice because then people who are new to the series could very easily understand what's going on. I mean, there's not really that much background. It's just he gets bit by a spider, becomes Spider-Man, his uncle dies, he decides to fight crime. that's really about it.
Yeah, that's all you need to know, and that's
yeah.
all that you need to know for the second Spider-Man.
You don't have to
other than
dedicate
like the
more scenes to
backstory
it.
of like Mary Jane and all of his friends. and
Yeah,
Uncle
but
Ben.
the basic
that's
thing with Mary
that's
Jane
that's thing
is- yeah.
that's the thing everybody knows though, so you don't have to go in depth again and explain that.
Yeah, really the only storyline that really requires much background over the course of the trilogy for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is the whole plot with Harry and wanting revenge on Spider-Man for supposedly killing his father. you know.
Yeah.
That's really the only like ongoing thing. Other than that, it's fairly self-contained stories. So, but Spider-Man 2, the effects got better. The fight scenes
definitely.
are really good. They're
Especially
better
the
than
one,
first one.
especially the one on the train.
Oh yeah,
Because
that's
if you
the
watch,
best
if you
scene. I
if you
love
watch
that
if you
movie.
watch
I love
it,
that
they
scene.
actually I respect that they actually put in the detail to like maintain its focus and like realism. Because if you see there's
yeah.
one particular part of that scene where Spider-Man jumps out the side of the train and he uses his web shooters to bounce back on. You can see the inertia of the train in his body go into full effect, and I like
Yeah.
that the editors and the filmmaker put the time and energy into making that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know if that's 100% realistic, but like
no,
it
but
works.
that's yeah.
Works really well, and it looks very natural the way that they make it work. You really feel each like sort of punch and each like motion with Doctor Octopus's like mechanical arms. Like
Yeah.
they're really cool because they like you kind of don't know what they're gonna do, and he's like got so much power with them. And Spider-Man has to sort of juggle all these different things, and then he has to save all the people on the train, and it's a really great sequence. The whole thing.
And I like the scene where Harry finds out who Spider-Man is.
Yeah,
That was
a
really
great scene.
that was really played out well. That was fantastically played out well.
That was acted very well
yeah.
because it could have been really cheesy, but they made it work.
Yeah, and I like the use of camera angles to show it, because there's one shot where you have Harry in the front and then you have the Goblin mise en scene right behind him, so it kind of foreshadows what could happen in a later movie. And I'm gonna give Spider-Man 2 a 9 out of 10, my same rating as the last one. What are you gonna give it?
I'd give it a 9 out of 10 also.
Yeah, and Spider-Man 2 was a great movie, but what came after it?
All right, we'll talk about this one.
We have to. We got to talk about this one, then the Amazing Spider-Man, and the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
Aren't you
God,
excited?
It's just going downhill from here.
That's
All
gonna
right,
be
so
great.
Spider-Man 3. Let's start off with the good stuff because
It's actually not. It's not as like horrible as everyone says it is, even though it is bad.
It's a fun movie to watch with friends. I learned that
Oh,
recently.
I wouldn't watch it with friends, but
Oh, I watched it with friends. It was hilarious.
okay, maybe if I watch it for the funny sides, then I'll watch it.
Yeah. So the good stuff though, the effects are really good for its time. Like a little bit of it's aged, but like the Sandman effects are good. Most of the like shots of them like fighting and Spider-Man's slinging is good.
I like that Sandman had a motivation. Like,
Yeah, but it's still kind of a weak one.
Yeah.
And he's also the only villain in
And I
the movie
like-
that kills people,
Yeah.
and yet he gets away like with it completely.
yeah, I like the effects of Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And
not
I like
the
I
actor
like
who
I like
plays
the
it.
first 20 to 30 minutes of the film.
There's some good stuff in there. Like the first confrontation between Harry and Peter is really good.
Really, I thought that green screen was kind of cheesy.
I meant the like acting, not the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
no,
yeah,
the green screen
no,
looks
yeah.
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks pretty obvious. But yeah, I mean, even for 2007, I think this is one that came out. It's not the best green screen effect, but I think the acting at the beginning is decent. But Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker, and I'm not necessarily blaming Tobey Maguire.
It was the
'cause
writing, I
it's
think.
really poorly written, honestly. But he is so annoying in this movie, and he was really good in the first two, and he's just so irritating in this.
And I
movie.
think I know why people don't like it, because if you watch the first two Spider-Mans, you get so closely connected to this character of like a shy, goofy, nerdy kid who becomes a superhero, and people can kind of relate to that because it kind of like sets up in a way that correlates to people who are like shy and nerdy and want to do big things in life. Like that makes sense to people in real life.
Yeah.
And then you see this person grow up to be like a complete jerk. It makes no sense
Well, and it's
whatsoever,
like-
and it makes it
yeah.
completely unrelatable.
Well, and it's like you've got the first two movies. He's like learning a lot. He's dealing with everyday life, and he's becoming like a better person at the end of the day. Like he's really becoming a better hero, and he's learning to sacrifice, like himself. That was like the whole second movie was him learning to sacrifice, what he wanted for the good of others. And you get to Spider-Man 3, and he's just annoying. He's just a whiny little brat. And it's like, I understand the whole Venom plot. Like, he's supposed, like the whole like symbiote. It's supposed to make him darker. It's supposed to like make him do things he wouldn't normally do. That's fine to do like a storyline where like, okay, he's going through like an internal struggle. He's like experiencing darker elements of his character. That's fine. But making him just like this jerk who, like in real life nobody would like, you can't do that to your protagonist and expect the audience to pull for him. I mean,
Yeah.
because you don't pull for him. You don't pull for anybody because none of the characters do anything that makes any sense. All of it just sort of plays out like a
It's
really
a
ridiculous.
huge mess.
It's a ridiculous
Especially
soap opera.
especially
Soap
the
opera.
the emo Peter scenes where he just has his hair slicked back to the front and he has that dance scene.
Yeah, when I dyed my hair black, everybody kept sending me pictures of that. But
I saw
yeah.
some picture on Instagram where your girlfriend posted the new Spider-Man or something like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking, reminds me of Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that happens. But yeah, Spider-Man 3.
Can I call you Peter Parker from now on? Spidey
Only
3?
only if I get to call you Van Man Licorice every single time.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So but yeah, Spider-Man 3, too many villains. You got 3 villains. You got Sandman, you got Venom, you got Harry. They don't get enough screen time to really develop much, and they just sort of, one gets thrown in as the villain, then one gets taken out, and then another one comes in, and it's just so much to juggle. And you'd think they'd learn from this mistake, but they don't with later Spider-Man movies. They do the exact same thing later on. So
I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10.
yeah, I'll give it a 4 out of 10 too. That's about what I
Hey,
put it.
we agree.
Yay! Well, we agreed on the last one.
Yeah, that's true.